What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to cover a subject that's been around for years. 2JZGTE versus 2JZGE plus slapping on a turbo. Let's jump on in, have a chat. Before we cover this subject, we need to get some ground rules, get some variables out of the way. We need to be at the same point so we can't all go, oh, but what about? Let's go stock versus stock. Now, I know you're going to be like, oh, the stock GE doesn't have a turbo. I know, let's just slap that on, all right? So that's going to be part of the cost, obviously, but we're starting with the point that we're not pulling the motors apart. We are just going full sealed motors, no, oh, but I'll change the pistons, oh, but I'll change this, oh, but no, we're not. Because too many variables will go down too many different parts. We already have a few parts we have to go down today, and I don't want to have you guys sitting here for 3 hours, okay? So now, first part, let's all jump in the car together, and we're gonna go down the first part. This first part, we have no engine. We've got a car that we need an engine. We want a 2J, but we don't know which one to get. It's like me with the E46. What do I get? I've got, I don't know, let's say we've got 20 grand in our pocket. What do we want and what do we want out of it? You need to figure out what you want out of it. You need to know, are you 100% on that result? Now, end of the path, what do you want? Do you want 1200 horsepower? Do you want 1500 horsepower? Do you want 500 or 600 horsepower? What do you want and are you 100% on it? For example, myself, I was 100% that I wanted 400 or 500 horsepower out of this car. This is a car that was built a long time ago, engine and gearbox wise, so that's different. We'll cover that in a minute. But we're talking about today, right? What do you want? Okay, well, I want 1000 horsepower. Okay, fair enough. You want 1000 horsepower. In that instance, I would say go the GTE. I'm not even going to have the conversation. Go the GTE motor, because otherwise you're always going to have this voice in the back of your head. If you're going stock versus stock, is this going to blow up? It's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. Might take some time, but it's going to blow up. Honestly, the GTE is pretty blow up. You're going to pull 1000 horsepower out of it, depending on how you drive it. If you get that 1000 horsepower dyno tune, you're like, I got a 1000 horsepower car, and then you drive it like a baby, it's probably not going to blow up. Look, the NA is probably not going to blow up if you drive like that as well. It's going to be fine. But that's what I'm saying. You need to figure out what you want out of this. If you want what I wanted, 400-500 horsepower at the wheels, that's when you've got to look down this path and go, okay, well, I've got $20,000. I'm either going to have, like, when you're at that point, you're going to look down and you're going to go, okay, I'm going to get a GTE, 10 grand. ECU to get it running right, supporting mods of getting it in the car, fuel pump, etc., bracketry, so on and so forth. You're probably going to spend that 20 grand getting that motor in. Let's be honest. You're putting it into a shop. We're not doing it ourselves like we would on this channel. You're going to put it into a shop. You're probably going to pay them 10 grand just to get it in, right? Like all up, you know, get it running. I mean, my ECU is 2.5 grand or 2 grand, something like that. So just an ECU is expensive, right? And we're talking like an E46 or a whatever. It's not a car, but it's just in. We'll cover that in a minute, right? So that's your 20 grand gone. You've got a stock 2JZ GTE in your car. Cool. You're running maybe like 270 real horsepower at this point. You haven't boosted it. I mean, if you did, you boosted it to 10 pounds, maybe you get about 330 horsepower. You're not at your goal, but you've got a very good engine, okay? Your 20 grand's gone, roughly, don't quote me. You've got a really good engine in there, cool. Now, let's see if we went the NA+T, right? You're sitting there, you've got 20 grand in your pocket, you buy an NA motor, 2.5 grand, right? Manifolds, turbo, maybe 6 grand, you know? I mean, you can get a China manifold, which can be good, not always. Gamble. If you got a 6 boost, things like that, what are you doing here? You've built your drag car, bro. If you got an NA+T build, you're doing it on a budget. You're trying to get your 400-500 horsepower in your, let's just call it E46, just because it's easier, right? Same install costs, things like that, right? You've got your turbo, you've got your intercooler, you've got your everything that's going to cost. So let's say that the install cost is going to be 10 grand, okay? 2.5 grand for your motor, 1,500 bucks for your turbo, 500 bucks for a manifold, maybe some injector upgrades, 1,000 bucks. What are we looking at? 2.5, 3, 4. You're looking, let's say you're at 6 grand, okay? You're at 6 grand, you've got the NA+T in, right? Probably running 10 pounds of boost, same ECU, all that sort of stuff. Probably running similar power, cool. You've still got $4,000 to get some more power out of it, right? You're also running, say you're running the same boost, you've got higher compression, so you're probably getting a little bit more power out of it. The injectors, I know you could say, oh yeah, I'll do that to my GTE. You ran out of money on your GTE, you used your 20 grand, you still got 4 left, right? Part of getting that car running with the turbo was included with the new injectors, right? So you've gone big injectors, you already got them, right? You got the same fuel pump you would have put in on the GTE, okay? So let's double that amount of money because you're gonna go a big fuel pump. Let's add another 500 bucks because you're gonna go some new lines. Let's add another 500 bucks, you're gonna go a fuel rail. You're probably there, right? You're probably there. NA motor, good turbo, like a, I don't know, 3582 GDX, but you get the Gen 2, not the Gen 1. You're probably at that 400-500 horsepower mark, and you've spent your 20 grand. Let's be fair, you've covered the 20 grand, right? You've got that, so there's your end of the road, right? There's your end of the road. That's what I would say you should go with. Go the NA motor, you've got what you want. You've spent your 20 grand, you've got your 2J, you've got your turbo, and it is running, and it's running sweet, and you've got 400-500 horsepower. You're loving life, right? You're not gonna go much further than that, but you're done, right? Perfect. Now, let's chuck in reverse, get back to the beginning of that, and see what your end of the path is, right? So we're all sitting in a Supra together this time, okay? NA Supra with a 5-speed, what this used to be. So you've already got an NA 2J. It's already in the car, it's already running. You're in a Supra, that's where it's meant to be, cool? Now, let's not say you've got amount of money in your pocket. You have that goal of 600 horsepower, or 500 horsepower, let's be fair, 500 horsepower, right? What do? Do you go and spend $10,000 on this motor and another, let's say 5 grand to get it in, because trust me, it's expensive getting it in. Your NA ECU will not run it. Your fuel pump will not cut it, right? So you're gonna go and get 10 grand, right? On the motor, spend another 5 grand to get it in. You're at 15 grand and you're at stock power. Then you're gonna work it, let's say another 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 grand, ECU, injectors, fuel pump, fuel lines, front mount, which you already have. You get to that 400-500 horsepower mark, but you're at 22 grand, 23 grand, something like that maybe, right? Or we work your NA motor, right? Slap a turbo on the side, 1,500 bucks plus a manifold, or maybe 500 bucks. Let's say you got a good deal on a China one, $2,000, all up for your turbo. Fuel pump, lines, rail, front mounted cooler, ECU, tune, bit of fun, screamer pipe, external wastegate, annoy the cops, annoy people in the tunnels, have the best time ever. You'll probably get to your 400-500 horsepower. You might be 10 grand deep. You've got $13,000, $14,000 still in your pocket. NA motor sounds pretty good right now, doesn't it? Today's day and age, with the prices that are going on, has completely changed the scene. People that used to be on the Supra forums and go, "Oh, you've got an NAT, you should have just gone the GTE mode." Bro, we just had a chat about that. He saved $13,000 and he's going to chop you. You know what I mean? Prices today have completely changed this conversation. Back in the day, there was thread after thread after thread on the Supra forums, on Facebook, maybe not that long ago, but guys would jump on, hey guys, I want to go turbo with my Supra, should I go GTE, should I go NA+T? 50 comments of don't waste your time, just go GTE. That's what I had when I asked that exact question 10 years ago, and I'm really glad that I did what I did. But 10 years ago, engine was $2.5 grand. It wasn't really that much. Like, you could understand why the guys were turning around and going, dude, just get the turbo motor, chuck it in, they're cheap. Dime a dozen, go grab one, cool. You can understand why people were saying that. Nowadays, it's a completely different ballpark. You're looking at the wrong thing. You're looking at different things. Now, let's reverse one more time. Get back to that beginning point. You've got a Supra, okay? You have an NA motor in there. You want an absolute rip snorter of a car. You want 1,000 horsepower. You want 1,200 horsepower. Money is not an issue. You just want to rip your tires apart, slide up the road for kilometers on end, just ripping the road apart. That's what you want, all right? Do you want to, and this is the point where we're going to change things up, do you want to go down the path of an NA motor that you are going to have to pull apart the bottom end? You are going to want to do things like forging it or upgrading it or strengthening it. Wow, English. Or are you going to go the GTE motor, which is well renowned for running 900 horsepower stock? Driveline and stuff, let's just ignore that at the moment, because you're going to run whatever driveline you want. Maybe you want an auto drag box, maybe you want a V160, maybe you want a full dog box like R154 that you've gone full straight cut gears. Your choice, we're not talking about that at the moment. Maybe we'll do another video on gearboxes. But if you're aiming for that 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 horsepower, I think you should go the GTE. You are going to be dropping a lot of dollars on this. It's expensive. You know it. The guys out there running big power in their 2Js, they know they've spent a lot of money in it. No one's done it for 500 bucks. It's not that kind of a project. It's very expensive, and there's a lot to think about. But if you've already got a very, very strong motor, you're probably going to be able to get 900 on your stock bottom end. You don't even have to pull it apart yet. But if you do want to pull it apart, look, you can go down both paths for the big numbers. Don't get me wrong, I just feel like you're going to be spending a lot more money on the NA motor to strengthen it than you are on the GTE. You're going to have a motor that has for years and years and years been used for that 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 horsepower. If you're going 1,500, let's be serious, whatever motor you're using, you're ripping apart and you're going forged bottom end, right? Any motor. Don't come at me with, but I've got an RB26. You're doing a forward bottom end, brother. You're not going to run 1,500 horsepower on stock bottom end and have a good time, all right? You're going to have a bad time. You're going to have expensive time. You're going to be ripping it apart and rebuilding the whole thing. Now, at that point, I feel personally like when you're going for 1,500, you're going to be running things like the Plasma Man this, the Plasma Man that, the top of the line this, the top of the line that. You're going to be getting the top of the top of the top. Like you're going the full Gucci package. You're going everything top end because you are trying to squeeze that orange of power and get every drop of power out you can. Every drop of juice is another 10 horsepower and you're squeezing it as hard as you can, all right? That is what you're gonna want. You're gonna want the best of the best of the best, sir. With honors.
Your boy Captain America over here. The best of the best of the best, sir. Yeah, with honors.
Now, I think that is a GTE, okay? If the money's not an issue and you just want the best of the best, my opinion, GTE all day, every day. If you want a good engine and you want 400 or 500 horsepower, you want to save some money, GE, slap a turbo on all day. That is my opinion, okay? Now, I know that I have a GTE in mind. I have the V160. To be honest with you, I sleep a little bit better at night knowing I've got that. I'm only going to aim for 500 horsepower with this. at that point, I will sleep better at night when I give it the berries, you know, give it a blast. That night I'll go to bed and be like, it's a GTE motor, loves it. Snoring away, right? I'll be happy, I'll be calm, I'll be with the fairies just sleeping. Me and the fairies be high-fiving me like, that motor's safe. If I had the NA+T build, maybe I wouldn't be doing as many high fives. I'd be like, is that the one that's gonna blow it up? Purely because my mind is from the old school mindset, okay? I do know these are better motors, longer, like, reputation of being amazing, things like that, but do not get me wrong. The NA+T builds are also sick. I'll probably do one day, to be honest, I probably will. E46 isn't getting it, I'm gonna burst that bubble right now, it's not getting a 2J, but they are great motors. So if you're out there, you've got an NA Supra and you are like torn, oh, do I go GTE and keep everyone happy with the purists and the wing? Don't worry about the purists, mate, it's your car. Never worry about the purists, ever. I don't care what you're driving. Unless you're a purist and you want it to be pure, don't worry about the purists, worry about you, your car, you're loving it, run it how you want, okay? So in conclusion, like we said, if you want the Gucci package, you want the best of the best of the best, I would say GTE, all day, just all day, okay? If you want a nice 400-500 horsepower straighter, NA+T. That's what I'm saying. That's my end result, okay? Disagree with me if you want, and if you do, write it in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Tell me about your build. Tell me how long ago did you make your build though? Think about the time frame. Was it before you couldn't buy an S13 for less than 10 grand? Because, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Sorry, S13 owners, but they're not worth 10 grand. I'm from the day where you were buying 180 SX shells for 500 bucks, okay? That's where I'm kind of coming from. But, like I said, things have changed, prices have changed. So you need to modify your mindset with the world that's changed. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments. I hope this has been informative. I hope you've had a bit of fun. I have. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This video took 8 takes. Sometimes it's a struggle, sometimes I just lose my train of thought and I go on a tangent. But I hope you've enjoyed the tangents we went on today. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you want to hang around, have some more chats, see me working on this, see me working on the Crown, E46, maybe Navara coming, maybe another Japanese car, I don't know, let's see what the deals are. Jimmy O made me fall in love with the 300ZX. What's coming? I don't know. It's going to be sick. And we've just secured a new house, so that we've got more room for more builds for you guys to enjoy. So apart from that, guys, we're done. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.